Salutations. Welcome to another edition of OXYWORD. I'm your host, Joel Wilborn. In this episode, we have a specific issue, and this poor woman is very upset. And so she's just expressing her frustration, and we are seeking some assistance. So if you feel it within your heart to reach out and offer any type of skill or advice, anything that you think could help her, it would be greatly appreciated. So here's our next edition of OXYWORD. On the line with me, I have a person who is currently incarcerated. Would you like to state your name, please?
Renee Bishop.
Now, you have a huge issue that's really bothering you and causing a lot of heartache for you. So, how would you like to express your frustrations with our audience?
I would like to say that although I committed a crime, I don't deserve to sleep with vermin in my bed or my food, and they are affecting everybody in here, and nobody's doing anything about it. So staff has decided to harass me for complaining about it, retaliate against me by infracting me for, quote, flooding my cell, or putting a little bit of water on my floor to kill a couple of ants. So they have revoked my 53 days good time. After 2 years of being infraction-free, I just got a major infraction for flooding my cell. That means that I lose 53 days good time. I lose to MSU, it's a lighter security unit. Right now I'm in close custody unit. I've been in this building for 10 years, and I won't be moving forward now. I'm 53 years old, I'm crippled, and don't have a whole lot going for me right now. But the CUS Reek, Donovan Torres, and Internal Investigations, he went through my JPAs and said that he found a JPA stating that I flooded my cell, and that's not what I said. I said I put a couple of boxes on the floor of water to kill the ants that were there, and the counselor came in there whose business has nothing to do with her, and she began to stick her finger in my face and threatened to take away my good time. When she realized that was harassment or retaliation, she backpedaled and wrote an infraction for me to lose by her for flooding myself.
Now you said you have the ants in your cell. What is the normal process for dealing with rats and ants?
Yeah, all they have to do, when you tell us, you just report it to a staff member. This has been going on for months and years in this building, and you report it to staff. They simply fill out a little form to give to maintenance. Maintenance comes out and they fumigate it, no problem. But they do not notify maintenance. They just don't want to deal with it, so they don't fill out the little piece of paper, and they never notify the maintenance department of it. And I did tell CUS Reek verbally, and he ignored me. Then I filed grievances, and the grievance department here at WCCW is a sham, and it's ran by Andrea Bassetti, who has never accepted any major grievances from me. She puts them in her round file, which is her garbage can, which she's admitted to. So I filed about 15 grievances, emergency and regular, before I flooded my cell, and that's what happened. They just don't follow they don't follow their own rules here. They don't follow policy or do the grievance process. When you grieve, and other people grieved with me, or for themselves, about ants being in their bed, their room, and on their food, which are all constitutional rights violations, they did nothing about it. They don't care. So living with bugs in your bed, biting you, I might add, are just something you have to deal with when you go to prison. It's disgusting.
One of the biggest issues that I run across whenever I express some of the problems that you have within the prison is they're saying that when you committed a crime, you knew that there was a possibility you could go to prison, and that prison isn't the most pleasant area in the world to live. So why should the public, including these prison officials, why should anybody care about your health and well-being while you're locked up in there?
The Constitution states that they're supposed to give us medical attention and care for our safety and well-being and our health. And the Constitution and the rules and regulations and policies and statutes all read and state that they're supposed to do something about vermin, and that it's a constitutional rights violation, and that it is an emergent issue, not a non-emergent issue like all the couple of grievances I got back that were answered by Lieutenant Garcia and Lieutenant Simmons stated this is a non-emergent issue, and that's not what the law book says. And that's not what the ombudsman said. So I called the ombudsman, they started an investigation, and they're looking into it. She absolutely, the gentleman on the phone was a lawyer, and he said, no, it's absolutely an emergent issue. It's under hygiene, health, and safety. It's just gross, because people in the public should know, because nobody tells them these things. These are not the things that are ever reported on main websites or docinmate.com or anything like that. These are the little secret things that go on in here that they just let pass by. And people in the public are going to end up here with a DUI or an assault on their wife or something like this. It's going to happen. And it's bound to happen. And if it does, then they're in here too. If they don't help us now, then they're not helping themselves later.
Now, I'm sure you're aware that if people are doing things that are wrong and nobody speaks out, they're going to continue their actions. Now, I believe... Okay, so you agree with that. Okay, good. Now, I believe that there are other people within the prison that are having similar problems. Maybe some of them even have worse problems than what you're going through. Are you mobilizing anybody together to aid you in making some changes in there?
This is something that if I answered yes to, I could get in trouble for, because it's considering, in their eyes, they have rules and regulations here that state that you're causing a riot or that you're illegally assembling. But under the First Amendment, people to do things, you just can't argue, but you can't grieve on somebody else's behalf. But if somebody else writes a grievance for the same thing, it can happen. But women don't stick together like men do, so it's a little harder to congregate and get people into a group to do something like that. So I would say yes. I've been trying to motivate people to do the same.
Okay.
But they're afraid, because they see the harassment, they see the infractions, they just don't want to get involved. They don't want to fill anything out and get in trouble. They're scared. They're intimidated. Staff intimidates people.
So I guess the best way to keep everybody, shall we say, in line is through intimidation rather than just following the policies that are set forth in there.
That's correct. Policies don't mean anything here. I have several law books in my room that I go over, and I wrote everything down that was illegal, immoral, unethical, that violated standards of policy, standards of procedure. I wrote down the law, the case number, the precedent, everything. And I forwarded it to the superintendent. The warden here is new, and I will be fair, because that's just the way I am. And she's new. She's our captain here. She's pretty fair. So the last 3 wardens that have not been fair, they shoot you down. I just kiosk a message over to the warden's secretary. It was not the warden who answered, the secretary, and she said, quote, "You have been heard. Your issue has been heard." And then that's all she said. So I don't know for a fact that it's the warden or not yet, but I still have a letter for the warden that I'm going to give her a fair opportunity to rectify the situations that are going on here.
Well, that's good. You can't ask for
started about a month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago.
To be fair.
Okay, so you have a new superintendent at the Washington Correction Center for Women.
Charlotte.
And so far...
Charlotte Headley.
Okay, and so this superintendent hasn't done anything to get you against her just yet, right?
No, not at all.
Okay, so
not
so far so good.
Brand new, and she was actually pretty fair with me on a couple of appeals that some infractions that I feel that I was not guilty of. You never get found not guilty of them when you appeal them. They ignore them, throw them under the table. Whether you have case law and precedent to prove otherwise, they just don't care. You lose.
Yeah.
And then when I did it with her, and she was the appellate counsel on that, no, she was fair and she let me win. So I have some faith in her.
Okay, we can ask people on the outside to offer their support. So would you like to share your JPay information with the public so that someone out here could contact you on JPay?
Sure.
Okay, at the end of this...
Renee Bishop.
Uh-huh.
Renee Bishop-McKean, McKean, and my number in here is 361-358-8255.
Okay, now if there's anybody who's listening out here and you would like to at least get some more information on this situation, or if you'd like to offer up some support, maybe you can contact a legislator, or you can contact some of your friends and family, and then we can at least look into this. So she doesn't. We should let her know that she's not alone. That's the big thing. Now, is there anything you'd like to say before we end this interview?
No, I'm good. I appreciate the public's time.
Okay, well, thank you for your input, and we wish you the very best on resolving these issues.
Appreciate you.
Okay, there you have it. Hopefully you feel the frustration that she felt, or at least can understand what she's going through. There are certain rights that we have, and it's true that under the Constitution, prisoners are legal slaves. So there's really not a lot of rights that they have. But things like, a comfortable place to sleep, food, medical attention, these are things that even the slaves have a right to. So we don't want her sleeping in a room being infested with ants or being bit by rats. And then, when she follows all the policy and all the procedure and is ignored, we don't want that either. That's not the way the United States is set up. That's not the way the penal system is set up. So I'll leave her contact information if you want to reach out to her. Believe me, you might think that any input that you have is insignificant, but you'd be surprised at how much a little can go. So thank you for tuning in, and go out, open up discussion, and have yourself a wonderful day.